Hi, everybody. Ron Schara here with another edition of Minnesota Bound Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about fish brain. Not the brains in a fish. This is the name of an app, Fishbrain, that supposedly attempts to give you some brains about where to fish and maybe even how to fish and what's there. So we're going to talk about Fishbrain, and the guy, one of the brains behind this, is Cavan Williams, is joining us. Cavan, thanks for coming on board.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, in a nutshell, explain to people, because you can do it better than I, what is Fishbrain?
So it's kind of an all-encompassing fishing app. There's got a lot of different features for a lot of different people. It does have a social media aspect to it, where people can show off their catches, make friends, talk about their catches, and things like that. There's a lot of tools with it as well, though. There's like the map where you can, if people are so inclined, they can post the spots of their catches, and you could look at where people are catching fish, places you can go to catch fish. That's a really great tool for a novice angler who's looking to get into the sport. It just needs to know where to go. Me personally, I really like the logbook function where I can put down all the information of a catch that I make. And if I don't want to, I don't have to share it with everybody else. I can keep all that information just for me. What I made the catch with, what was the water temp that day, what was the ambient air temperature, what time of day, all those good things that are really help to look back on and learn and try and improve your fishing.
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting. I mean, I've looked at your website, and just for folks, it's fishbrain.com, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. I know you're connected with this company. When did Fishbrain become an app that people can get?
I believe it was around 9 or 10 years ago.
Really?
It started up. I've just been with the company for about a year now. So,
okay. Can you tell me about whoever invented it or came up with the idea? What the thinking was?
Our founder he's actually a Swedish gentleman by the name of Johan Atby. He's just loves everything about the outdoors, and he was living in the States at the time, and he's big mountain biker, hiker, and he loves fishing too. And he was looking around. He'd already worked for one company, I believe, and he was kind of looking around the app world. And at the time, there wasn't a great app to help people, get through the barriers that prevent them from starting to fish. There's a lot of people who would like to go fishing. They don't know where to go. They don't know what baits to use. They, all this information. They don't know what they can catch. So, he saw that space and he saw that need and wanted to get more people on the water.
Well, having looked at your website, I'm amazed to gather some of this data is amazing. And you've got, what did I see here? Well over 1.7 million waters that are listed in your website. This is amazing.
Yeah, specific bodies of water, trying to map out, and that's still probably scratching the surface, in all honesty, with all the different ponds, creeks, and rivers. We're always trying to improve and get more data on these bodies of water that people can fish.
And you've got like 14 million people already joining. And I should say you can sign up and get the app for free. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So 14 million. I mean, that's a lot of, do most of them, do they send information in? I mean, how does it work?
It really depends on who wants to send their information in. We have a lot of people who are posting catches. I don't have the exact figure of how many catches that we have on the app, but there's a ton of catches on the app. You can go on the map, and if you turn on the waypoints, the catch waypoints, and some bodies of water just fill up like a Christmas tree lights from all the different catches that have been made. Yeah, especially in places like in Florida or Georgia, even New York, we get a lot of catches up in there. We have a lot of users in those areas. So as far as the exact number of catches, I'm not exactly sure, but I know there's a lot, and it's a very popular thing to do in specific bodies of water.
Well, being from Minnesota, and this is a Minnesota Bound podcast, I checked your website and then went into you click on something, I forget what, but you click on, and here comes the Twin Cities up, which is where I'm at, and you can move the screen around and find lakes. So I checked Medicine Lake and Lake Minnetonka, and those are full of information about what was caught, not where, but what was caught in some of these bays. So this is just a preliminary review by me. I'm anxious to get deeper into it as we go along. It's kind of interesting to me. We're talking with Cavan Williams, who works for a company that produces the Fishbrain app. Fishbrain, that's what it's called. Fishbrain.com if you want to check it out. We'll get back and talk more to Cavan right after this. You're listening to the Minnesota Bound podcast.
Hewitt Docks, Lifts, and Pontoon Legs began in a small south-central Minnesota town with a mission to make dock install and removal easier by inventing the Roll-A-Dock. Well, now the company has evolved to provide everything you might need to improve your lake time. In addition to the classic Roll-A-Dock or the new Ultra Dock system, Hewitt offers all-terrain staircases, gangways, canopies, and lifts, along with any accessory you might need. Celebrate 50 years of business with us. Go to HewittRad.com to enter for a chance to win a free dock and monthly prizes. Hewitt Docks, Lifts, and Pontoon Legs. Work hard, play harder. You deserve a Hewitt.
Hi there, Ron Schara here for Star Bank. If you're putting your money into mega banks down the street, who knows where that money's being used? Bank locally. Keep your money local with a community bank that actually cares about you, your family, your business, and your goals. Check out the bank we use at Minnesota Bound. Try Minnesota's own Star Bank. You can find them online at starbank.net. When you call Star Bank, you actually hear a real living person answering the phone. Star Bank has 10 convenient locations around Minnesota to serve you and all the mobile banking products that you need to manage your money. Check out all that Star Bank has to offer at starbank.net.
Hi, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We're talking with Cavan Williams of Fishbrain. Not that he's a fish brain or a bird brain, for that matter. Fishbrain is the name of a company that produces a Fishbrain app, fishbrain.com. A device to show you where some fish are biting, who's catching what, some lakes that you might know. You can check those out. It's a free app. And Cavan, you mentioned something earlier that one feature of the app is you can log your fishing experiences, and you can share them if you want to, or you can use it as a diary. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Well, let me tell you a little story. I have a friend of mine who, I don't know how many years. It's been a heck of a long time. I mean, maybe 30 years. He has kept a diary of his fishing experiences, and that includes days he spent with me. And I've always sort of admired that. But I figured I'm an old dog. I've been around. I fished so many days, no sense starting now. With. But one day I was wondering. We fished on April 1st on a stream here in Minnesota, and we were catching trout and smallmouth bass. And I said to myself, "What was I throwing? What was I catching those fish on?" I couldn't remember. I got a hold of my friend Bill, and he says, "Hang on." Well, we went this day, 3 years ago, April 1st. we caught them on floating rapalas. I go, oh, yeah, that's right. So I guess the point of my story, Cavan, is that keeping a log can be invaluable if you want to go back and refresh your memory.
Absolutely. I'm a pretty much pure fly angler these days, and over here in Western Montana. And what's really important is to try and track dry fly hatches, as the weather changes and we start to get warmer. And I find it invaluable for that, not even to look at my own account, but to look at some of the other accounts of friends I have to see, is it too early for a March Brown right now, or is the squall has started, or anything like that. So I really find it handy for that. But not only that, it also tracks other information too, which is really important, which I find mostly is water temperature. And it could help track your water temperature, and you could piece that information together. And for example, I'm about to start going up and fishing for lake trout in a big lake up here in Western Montana, Flathead Lake. But they don't start rising to eat the bait fish, really start taking a fly until the water temperature gets to a certain point. So we learned that by going back into some old, you can go back into some old catches and look at the water temps for those days. Like, yeah, I made a great catch this day and the water temp was this degrees and this is the fly I used. And it's just such a really useful tool that you always have on you.
Well, it's very interesting that you included this in your Fishbrain app. I'm kicking myself that I didn't do this at one point because I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but especially since you're in Montana. But it is invaluable and fun to look back at. You can record, water temperatures, wind, what were the conditions, what'd you catch them on, where, stuff like that. Anyway, Cavan, I'm kind of curious. I was surprised, I'll put it that way, that this is a free app. Why free?
Well, I mean, it's important to get everybody involved in an app, but I'm not part of the logistic side of the business side of things. I'm a content creator with the app who just loves to fish. So I think it's really important to get people less barriers into fishing. And a lot of barriers into fishing are sometimes financial barriers. Now, to be frank, there is an upgrade option for the app where you can get even more tools. But, a lot of people really enjoy the free version and find it incredibly useful as well.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having an upgrade. I mean, if you're in this business, start an app free. I do know that. And it takes money. And, you're doing a lot of work. You want to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid. So that doesn't bother me. But so I think, that's very, I don't want to use the word clever, but I think it makes good sense to have it free. And if you want an upgrade, et cetera, you can do so, as you just mentioned. Let's talk a little bit more about what's on that app. You can shop. I see that. And
yeah.
And there's a community page here. I'm looking at it now where people can ask questions of others on the app about, if you have a question about what to throw for bass a certain time of the year or whatever, and people can answer it, or
mentorship is an important part of fishing, and not everyone was lucky enough to have some of the mentors that maybe you or I had. So people need to ask questions.
Well, it's true. I've been fishing for so darn long. You forget. You forget where you gathered all your information, but today there's a lot of it out there if you want to get it, but still some people don't know where it's at. And so, that's a neat part of that app as well. I'm looking at the map portion here. As I mentioned earlier, I click on map, and I guess the app knows, the website knows where I'm at. So up comes the Twin Cities with the various lakes marked. I find that fascinating. I mean, I don't know anything about creating apps, but did you do that?
I did not do that. No. I am a writer and a photographer. I am not an engineer.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to take another short break. We're chatting with Cavan Williams, who is with Fishbrain. I guess I just found out he's not the brains behind this app, but
No, but
he
I
does.
do have fish on the brain.
He is involved in an app called Fishbrain. You can check it out at fishbrain.com. We'll come back, finish up some questions with him right after a word from Minnesota Propane Association.
The Schara family enjoys spending a lot of time outside. Hence, we care what goes into our environment. That's why we support propane, the energy for everyone. Did you know that propane produces fewer greenhouse gas emissions than electricity generated on the U.S. grid? Propane's emissions are 43% fewer. That's a lot. Propane is clean, dependable, and affordable. Plus, it's produced right here in the USA. Let's all do our part to reduce emissions from our homes, cabins, and businesses by choosing propane, the right energy right now. To learn more about propane, the energy for everyone, go to propane.com.
Hey, I'm really picky when it comes to my drinking water, and I have the reverse osmosis drinking water system from Connecticut, and I love it. It takes out contaminants in the water, it removes chlorine, and most important, it tastes great, which is the one thing I'm probably most picky on is how does my water taste. So having Connecticut also means that I use less plastic water bottles, which we all know is a definite bonus for our environment. For more information, visit Connecticut.com to find a dealer near you.
Welcome back to another segment of the Minnesota Bound podcast. We're talking fish brains here today, or I should say fish brain. Fish Brain is an app that I came across that is free, fishbrain.com. Kind of unique, full of information for folks who, especially beginning anglers or whatever, if you're looking for, as I just did, looking at a map of Minnesota, going to maybe a favorite lake, and you'll see some information there about what was caught in a bay or whatever. And it's very unique, fishbrain.com. And the guy that is involved with that is my guest, Cavan Williams. Cavan, I mentioned the map. I mentioned the community page where people can ask questions, etc. What's your favorite part of the Fishbrain app?
Yeah, so it'd probably be a couple parts. Like we were discussing earlier, when you can have the option of upgrading for more tools, and if you do upgrade, you actually get Navionics depth charts on the app, which are really handy. I mentioned before that it's almost time to go up and start fishing for lake trout here in Montana, and that is such a great tool for finding those slopes where big lakers will start to come up into about the 30, 25 foot range and not the extreme depths anymore. So targeting those by using that function on the app is fantastic. Another aspect I really like, I don't have a ton of time these days to fish. I have a 2-year-old. So my fishing it takes up a lot of my time. But a lot of times I get to fish or few and in between, and I want to optimize my time. So we've aggregated a lot of the catch data from different bodies of water for each species in that body of water. And you can look on the app to find the peak times for this time of year to catch that specific type of fish. So if I'm in a brown trout mood here in Montana, I can go on the app and say, oh, this time of year, most guys are catching browns. Okay, it's a little cold out. They're waiting until midday for it to warm up on a cloudy day. Perfect. You know what? I have 2 hours today to hit the river. That's when I'm going to go. I try to optimize my time.
Who knew that social media and apps would slowly become something that anglers would add to their arsenal? You can't put it in your tackle box, but almost everybody keeps a phone on them now, and so it's rather interesting.
Yeah, and I think social media is so all encompassing, and people like social media, they kind of want to follow their particular hobbies, and we're just giving them that opportunity to follow those particular hobbies.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we've kind of found out about Fishbrain, fishbrain.com. For all of you listening, check it out if you're an avid angler like myself, and we'll let Cavan Williams go. Cavan, again, thank you for joining me today, and good luck on not only with Fishbrain, but good luck with your fishing as well.
Hey, thank you very much, Ron, and I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Very good. And so with that, I'm going to say adios to everybody. I want to thank Minnesota Propane, Hewitt Docks, Connecticut, and Star Bank, my favorite bank. And so thanks for joining us. And remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors.